a fire pit, and we have some firewood now, and we did some campfires. How many of you like campfires? Some people don't like smelling like smoke, so you can tell me in your attendance question, do you like campfires? Do you not like campfires? Why? Do you like s'mores? And do you like, oh yeah, that's it. So, or do you like the heat? Do you like sitting close to the fire? That's what I love. I feel like my knees get nice and warm. It's really nice. I definitely stayed up later this weekend. You might be able to tell in my face I'm tired because I just love sitting by the fire. So I end up sitting up late with my fiance and we just talk. That's really nice. So I hope you guys are finding some joy with it getting to be a little warmer weather. I know you guys really miss your friends, and that's got to be really hard. I think once some of these things are lifted, you're going to all find yourself spending some more time with your friends. So I hope that that happens soon for your sake. Some other news at our house. My daughter is working towards a new goal of getting a pet bearded dragon. So I guess like my love for reptiles is growing because, as some of you remember, I have a snake sitting here next to me in the cage. His name's Herman. And I guess he's growing on me. I mean, he doesn't talk or snuggle. Not that any animals talk. What am I talking about? But he doesn't like really interact is what I mean. But sometimes I feel like he might be interacting, because one day I opened the cage, I opened the top, and he came out of the cage. And then of course I panicked and had to have Brandon come get him for me. And now every time I'm down here, I swear Herman takes his little face and like just looks up at the top of the cage and just sticks his tongue out, like snakes do. And I feel like he's trying to plan his next escape or trying to kind of hint at me that he wants to get out of there. So we'll see. So now my love for reptiles has grown. I love dragons. So in the fantasy world, I love dragons. If you didn't know that about me, you probably didn't know that about me. That's kind of a weird fact. But I am enamored by dragons. I think they're a really cool, mystical character. And so I was fishing around. Should we get a hamster? Should we get a lizard? We're not really in the market to get a cat or dog. They're just a little bit more upkeep. Some people said guinea pig. It ended up bearded dragon. So hopefully in a few weeks, if my daughter can keep her behavior and her schoolwork on track, she will be seeing a bearded dragon on here. So that'll be fun. We found a breeder, and we're gonna get it as a baby. So that'll be exciting. Jada wants to name it Bobby or Sylvia. So there you go. Those are her names that she picked out. So what pet do you have? If you want to put that in your attendance question this week, what's your pet, or what's your dream pet? Let me know. Oh my gosh, I heard there's that, is it Tiger King? If you guys see our dream pet's a tiger, I'm going to laugh. Okay, so now I'm going to bring a story back that kind of relates to the stocks and soups. So I think some of the feedback that I read is, wow, I didn't know how easy a stock was, or wow, I can't believe how complicated a stock is. So one story is, when I was living in France, I was on a fixed budget. I was in my early 20s. I was teaching English over there, and I did already have a French family over there. And I went to visit on a Sunday, and I was talking to my French host mother and saying, I'm just so sick of eating sandwiches, because I didn't know how to cook really yet. And she said, Jennifer, that's what she calls me, Jennifer, Jennifer. Make soup. And I was like, what are you talking about? That sounds like really hard. There's no way that I could make soup. She said, no, you just throw water in a stock pot, and you chop up some onion, celery, carrots, and let it simmer. And then you add some herbs and spices like salt and pepper, some bay leaf or thyme, you can cut up potatoes later on, add that. And she just kind of gave me the basis, the foundation of how to make a stock/soup. And since then, I just loved it, because in France where I lived in Normandy. It is very dreary there. It rains a lot. It's cold. It's the kind of cold that gets right into your bones and you just feel chilled. So I always really wanted soup most of the time. And that is my favorite food. If you've ever asked me my favorite food, it is soup. So that's one story about stocks/soups, because they're kind of the same thing, right? And then the other story is kind of funny, and you might be able to use this in your time at home right now with your current situation. So we're trying not to go out to the stores right now, right? We're trying to keep physical distance from people. So I have a funny story. Saturday, Jada really wanted to make something, even though we already had dinner pretty much set up. She was insistent to make something, and she loves making soup. So she said, "Mom, can we make soup?" I said, "No, we've got dinner already, in the works. We're good." She proceeded to get out the stock pot, that big pot that we use in ProStart for the for noodles, and the one we poach the eggs in. Okay, so she gets out the stock pot. She's persistent, wants to make soup. I said, "Honey, we don't have the basics for making the soup right now. We don't have any chicken to put in the soup. We don't have carrots right now." And she said, "Mom, haven't you ever heard of use what you got?" Can you believe her? So we dug, and I found an onion, a little one, but an onion nonetheless, and some celery. And I happened to have milk and sour cream. I didn't have cream, which I found in a recipe, which, by the way, if you go to allrecipes.com, top middle, you can click on ingredients, or if it's on your phone, it might be in another spot, but look for where it says search by ingredients. You can type in what you have for ingredients, and it will give you ideas for recipes. I just discovered that, and I thought it was super cool. If you have any other apps that you use or websites you use for something similar, please drop that in your attendance question check-in, okay? I would love to hear about it. So I didn't actually do that. I just saw we have celery, of this or that. Then I actually looked up what's a celery soup recipe we can make, and it did include cream or whole milk. I didn't have either of those, so I just used milk and mixed in some sour cream. So that's one of those substitution things. You can look things up. So I would say, if you have the time, or if you're feeling bored, go into your kitchen, take a little inventory, look at what you got, go to allrecipes.com, type in some ingredients, see what recipes come up, maybe make something, okay? The cream of celery soup turned out really good. It was very creamy, so I only took a tiny bowl because that would give me a little tummy upset. But the flavors were really nice. Surprisingly, I didn't know if I would like just a celery soup. Celery, if you think about celery, it's kind of in the onion leek family. So it had that very like oniony flavor to it, yet, celery is a little more subtle and has its own flavor. The salt and pepper brought out that flavor, and it was quite good. So celery soup, if you have celery sitting around, a lot of times celery sitting in your refrigerator just kind of getting old, so that'd be something to use up. I wanted to now talk about the stocks assignment in general and just review a little bit. So as you move through the notes, it's asking what's in a stock, what are the parts of stock, what are examples of stock, okay? So I want to just remind you the two ways that you make those aromatics. Aromatics are just the herbs and spices. A lot of times in a soup, you just sprinkle in whatever, right? You're going to put the bay leaf in, you're going to sprinkle in thyme, you're going to sprinkle in salt and pepper. But if you're going to have like some fresh herbs, like you want thyme and it's like a big thing, but you want to pull it out later of the stock, you don't want it floating around in your soup, you might make something called a sachet d'épices, which is where you put the herbs and spices in a cheesecloth and it simmers in the water or in your liquid base. Okay, so when I asked what are the two types of ways to make aromatics, it is sachet d'épices and then a bouquet garni. And they're very similar. They're just a different way to disperse the flavors, the seasonings, the herbs and spices, if you will. Okay, and then as you move on, it talks about, stocks are based, unless it's a vegetable stock, it's based from bones. And so you're either going to sweat those bones, blanch those bones, or brown those bones. And that's what brings that flavor. And I know Davon was very excited to discover that it's that bone marrow flavor that is so important. So those are the 3 types of ways to prepare the bones. And then, of course, your actual stock. What are the types of stock? And this is where you're going to list down on number 7, down the left side, you're going to write the type of stock. And I'm going to actually list them for you in just a moment. And then I want you to look up a recipe and put the link on the right-hand column. So the types of stocks are white stock, brown stock, fumé, F-U-M-E-T, a court bouillon, C-O-U-R-T. Bouillon is B-O-U-I-L-L-O-N. The next one is glace. It looks like glace to you, probably G-L-A-C-E. A jus, it looks like juice to you, probably J-U-S. And then a vegetable stock. I do want you to look at the slides. However, to describe those, you need to list them, describe them, and then to the right-hand column, put a link, because you're going to use that link later for your extension part of your assignment, which is demonstrating it in some way or explaining how to make that stock in some way. Let's see. I also just wanted to add in another extension, like if you're bored, look up how to make pho. Have you ever heard of pho? Let me erase what I wrote here and make sure I write it for you. So it's a Vietnamese dish, and some of you may have had it. It's super, super good. I have a friend who's from Thailand, and she makes it. And it's so, so yummy. She literally boils bones and makes a bone stock all day long. And just makes this beautiful tasting soup. It's a nice deep umami flavor. Remember, umami, that's a good review word. Umami. It's brothy, it's meaty flavored. Maybe you remember that word. But pho is a really wonderful soup. And it's really fun because my Thai friend, she'd have me over and you add all these things to it. So it's got it already has noodles in it. She would usually have either fish meatballs or regular meatballs in it. And then you add like cilantro and peanut sauce, oyster sauce. You can add all these really cool things to it, and it really brings out the flavor. So that would just be another thing to look up or think about. Maybe think about trying it in the future if we ever get to go to restaurants again. So there you go. Do I have anything else for you? I do not think so. But yeah, try to look up some ingredients on that allrecipes.com. Search by ingredients and look for recipes if you're feeling like you want to get in the kitchen and make something. Look up pho, P-H-O. That's a great soup to make or try. Maybe somewhere is doing carry out of pho. I'm not sure. And I want you to make sure you get this stocks assignment in, okay? I only had 4 people from each class get it in. I really, really want you guys to contact me. I am getting concerned about people that I have not heard from. So please, please contact me. I'm not mad at you. I know it's a weird time. If you haven't been able to check in, I'm not mad at you. Just check in with me. Let me know what you need. I'll help you with time management. I'll help you talk through any issues you're having. So just please contact me. I feel like my students know I'm a forgiving person. I do need to tell you though, I'm here making things happen. I do need you to be making things happen as you can, but I do understand there's a lot of situations going on here with the stay-at-home order, and either you're working, your parents are working, you don't have resources. I get it. So I just wanted to make that clear. Oh, I hope I told you everything I need to tell you. I hope you're trying to have some fun. I know a lot of people are saying they're bored. I would like to say, this is a great opportunity to rearrange your room, clean your room, decorate something, do some yoga, exercise, do something new every day. Try something new every day. How would that be? Just like you guys should all dare me to hold the snake. I mean, I really should try to hold Herman. It scares me, but I should try it. What else can I tell you about how to maneuver all of this? Just keep your chin up. It'll be over soon. You'll be able to see your friends soon, and life will go back to normal. It really will. Maybe it won't be quite the same as it ever was before with a virus like this out there, but just know things will go back, and it's gonna be okay. Um, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think that's everything. Just know that I'm thinking about you all as well, and you're in my prayers, and you know I'm thankful every day for my ProStar kids. You guys are wonderful, wonderful. You teaching ProStart and teaching you is absolutely what changed my career and made my career more enjoyable. So remember that that's how I feel about you. And I hope that you found some joy in this video. Again, oh yeah, your check-in question, please drop a comment. How are you doing? Let me know how you're doing. Maybe you want to comment on the campfire thing I asked you. Do you like campfires? Do you like s'mores? Do you like the smell of campfires? Do you not like the smell of campfires? What's your pet? Do you have an exotic pet or just have regular cat, dog? Let me know. How old are they? Do they do anything silly? Do they have silly names? Entertain me. Share with me about your pets or your campfire experiences, or have you made anything at home just from the ingredients that you have in your refrigerator or cupboard? So that is what I would like from all of you in order for me to mark you present for attendance for this week of April 27th to May 3rd. I have already heard